here at Doncaster Motor Park on a not so sunny day, but we've got 19 dirt bikes here, we got 5 riders, we got a photographer, we've got the video cameras. It's going to be a good day.
Just finished riding all the 250s, straight away, standout bike, Yamaha YZ250. Easy to ride, really manageable, throttle, brake, clutch, everything, rode lovely. Handling wise, night and day in the 250 range, plenty of power, great bike to ride.
The standout 250 for me was absolutely the KTM 250. The power is so aggressive, so responsive, really strong bottom end, mid-range and revs to the moon. The new layout on it is smoother and rounder, which makes it feel a little bit more of a Japanese bike. It turns easy, it felt quite rigid. If I was a racer, that was definitely the bike that I'd go for.
The KTM 250F for the small class, the MX2 is definitely the highlight of the day for me. I like everything about it. When you get on it, it's slim. You can tell that they've toned it down to make it a very good race bike for 16. To go out and race that bike, I think you could take it, get some suspension in it and go and race a British Championship, whereas the others, I generally don't think you could.
For the 250Fs, a standout bike of the day for me had to be the Kawi. If I had to be honest, I think the KTM performed the best, but for me I wasn't expecting to gel with the Kawasaki as well as I did. I've ridden KTMs a lot in the past and I knew I was going to get on well with that, but I wasn't so sure about the Japanese bikes, and for me the Kawasaki worked best.
Okay, so the best 250 for me was the Honda. Just had a real nice balanced chassis, cornered really well. Not quite as peaky on the power as maybe the KTM, which just had tons of horsepower. But the Honda turned well, had real nice brakes, suspension was good, just couldn't really fault it, just being a bit slower, but you can go around the corners fast on it, so it's good.
How you like me now? How you like me now? How you like me now? How you like me now?
With the 450s, different kettle of fish. The Honda was my favourite bike out of all of them. It's so torquey in the bottom and the mid-range. The top end is okay, but there's no need to use it. It's all really strong, which means that you can roll the throttle on really easy, you know, have the front end light in the places where you want it to be light, and very manageable power and a lot of grunt there. It's still slim and still very responsive in the turns and easy to change line on.
Fortunately, I rode the 450s first when the track was nice and smooth, and a standout bike, Kawasaki. It was just a really nice, smooth, good handling bike. The KTM 450, very close second. Again, very nice power delivery, a lot better than the last couple of years. The Husky, very similar. Slightly better handling on the front, I thought. I quite like the 4CS on the Husqvarna compared to the KTM today.
I'm going to have to say the Yam. Just picked it by an inch, probably not even that, over that KTM, but that Yamaha 450 is some bike. It's got a lot of go, you know, you could definitely just ride that as stock in a British Championship and it would just go. I think the 350s, I used to like all the 350s, and then I rode them today as well, and they're quick, but you've got to ride them harder than 450s are that quick. You can ride them so much easier in the right gear, whereas at 350 you've got to sort of rev it and keep it revving and going. For maybe a lighter person on that MX1 class it might help, you know, because they are an easier bike to ride for sure, but I don't think they're as good as the 450s this year.
In regards to the MX1 bikes, the open class bikes, I'm a 125 rider normally, so any 450 is going to be a bit too much for me, and I have to say, if I was to get an open bike, an MX1 bike, it'd be a 350. Out of the Husky and the KTM, leaning slightly more towards the KTM, it handled a little bit better for me. The Husky, I felt a little bit less stable and I felt a lot smoother on the KTM. It really doesn't feel like you're riding a big MX1 bike, it feels like you're riding a proper fast 250, and yeah, that's why I like the KTM 350.
450 for me was probably the Honda again, just because it's so nice to ride and easy to ride. And I was quite surprised at how much power it had as well. You could just corner really well, which is something I struggle with, especially in ruts. So I've had today at Finley. It was the easiest 450 to ride, which for me makes it the best.
Two strokes. With the two strokes, the KTM and the Husky 250 feel very similar. How the 250 two-stroke handles going over the bumps, the braking bumps, nice and light and easy to skip over the bumps so you can ride relaxed. Both felt very similar power-wise. They're so fast when you accelerate out the turns. It's incredible because they're so light. Just a little bit harder to deal with mid-straight at the highest point speed. In the 125s, the Husky was the standout bike. It felt very tall and firm, and the track was quite wet when we were riding, so it cut through the dirt and got good drive. It was really strong bottom to mid-range and strong on the top two. The KTM was similar but just felt weaker, a little bit softer, a little bit more rounded if you like.
If you're going to go and buy a two-stroke, I think you're better off buying one of the 150s. There's something else. They're definitely the bike of the day out of every bike I rode. That 150 for me at the start of the day was unbelievable. It's just light and it's got the power of a 250 two-stroke, but you can tell it hasn't got the actual grunt, but it's got that power of quicker than, it's a lot quicker than a 125. And for me that was definitely the bike of the day.
The standout bike for me today had to be the KTM 150. I'm a 125 rider usually, and I love riding 125s, and I think they're nuts. But for me, that 150, you just get on it and you feel like you've got that extra bit of oomph, and you feel like you could go and take on all the 250Fs and really be competitive against the four strokes out there, and that's what I love about it. So that's a wrap here on a 2016 Dirt Bike Rider Shootout. We've had a pretty good day, but the heavens have opened now and the typical English weather is pissing it down. So the last few bikes rides of the day were in the wet, in the slot. We still got through it though. We all rode all 19 bikes and we got on with it. As I said, 19 bikes between the 5 of us. We've all ridden 19 bikes and that's a lot of riding and a lot of seat time. And we've all got different opinions, which is very interesting. And as you'll see from it, the other guys, you'll know that we all have different favourites and what we think is the #1 bike. Well, we hope this video and the article that will be coming out in the magazine soon will help you kind of make your mind up for what bike you might want for next season. So as I said, we've had 5 different riders here today. All of us have different levels, different types of riders. Myself, I'm a kind of intermediate to expert club rider. We've got an XGP rider, that's Ed Bradley. We've got a current pro rider, that's Matt Moffat, and he's also a 2-stroke expert. We've got Martin Craven, who as well, like myself, is a intermediate rider, and Dan Groves is also a club level intermediate expert senior rider as well. So we've got a whole different range of riders here that will all have different opinions and different thoughts on the bikes, and the aim of that is for us to be able to give feedback to you guys of all levels. Not everyone's the same, and hopefully it will help you decide if you're a clubman like me or an expert like Ed or a pro like Matt, that will have feedback that will be able to help everyone decide what bike might be best for them in 2016.